April 21st, 2015, from the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It was Game 2 from the 2015 NBA Playoff Round 1 matchup between the Washington Wizards and the Toronto Raptors. This game was crazy. It started off all Toronto. They were up by 10 in the first quarter, so they looked to be in control. Washington fought back, though. They closed the gap, and by the end of the first, it was 31-26 with Toronto in the lead over Washington by 5. Then in the second quarter, Washington took over. They took control as they ended up coming back. They went on a run because it was actually 31-37. They were down by 6, and then they went on a 25-8 run to take the lead by 11 points. So they came out strong. Of course, Toronto put up a couple more points, but at the end of the first half, it was 60-49 with the Wizards in the lead by 11 at halftime. Then in the third quarter, it actually would get to within 2 points, and it was 2 points that separated the Wizards and the Raptors. It looked like maybe the Raptors would be able to pull this one off, but then the Wizards, they just went off, and they ended up leading. They went on a 10-0 run after it was a 2-point game, and by the end of the third quarter, they were up by 22 points as they were just friggin' hitting three-pointers at will. They ended the third quarter with 4 straight three-pointers. Ramon Sessions, John Wall, Drew Gooden, and Otto Porter Jr. all boom, 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 hitting those trays. So it was now 97-75 as they just kept raining it on, and it seemed all the Raptors could do was get to the free throw line. So then in the fourth quarter, the Raptors tried to fight back. They actually outscored Washington in the quarter, but they weren't able to get it closer than double digits. And they ended up losing this one with a final score, Washington 117, Toronto 106, as Washington wins by 11 points and takes a 2-0 lead in the series on the road. So very impressive wins for the Wizards in Toronto, as the Raptors really got their work cut out for them heading to Washington, D.C. for Game 3. They might get swept. As the Wizards looking very impressive. They had 4 starters in double digits, and they also had double digits off the bench from Otto Porter Jr., who had 15 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal. So he was just 1 board shy of a double-double off the bench for Porter Jr. And the leading scorer, Bradley Beal, 28 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. John Wall, 26 points, 1 rebound, 17 assists, 1 steal and a block. So Wall with the impressive double-double. That was the guy you want in your fantasy right there. Marcin Gortat, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. Paul Pierce, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. And rounding out the starting 5, Nene Hilario, 6 points, 9 rebounds, and a steal. They also, as I said, off the bench, Porter Jr. with 15, Drew Gooden, 5.6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. Seraphim, 6 points, 2 rebounds, and Sessions, 5 points, 3 boards, and an assist. And for the Raptors, only 2 of their starters were in double digits, although they had 3 players off the bench score in double digits. So they got a huge performance from their bench, as their bench actually combined for 56 points in this game. So their bench outscored their starters by about 6 points. But their leading scorer, it was a tie actually, DeMar DeRozan had 20 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal as a starter. And Lewis Williams had 20 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 3 steals off the bench for the Raptors. Jonas Valanciunas had a double-double, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and a block. And coming off the bench, Amir Johnson, 10 points, 5 boards. And Patrick Patterson, 15 points, 4 boards, and 2 steals. So the Raptors, they started out strong. They were looking like they were going to take this game early on. But then Washington, once they got going, the Raptors didn't have any response as Washington continues to own the paint and own the board. They had 45 rebounds for the for the Washington Wizards versus just 28 for the Raptors. Almost twice as many rebounds for the Wizards over the Raptors. And for free throws, about the same, 67.6% for Washington, 65.6% for Toronto. Similar, 23 of 34 for the Wizards, 21 of 32 for the Raptors. And from three-point land, the Wizards were just draining those threes. 47.6%, hit 10 of 21, lights out from downtown. The Raptors, 7 of 18 for 38.9. Not bad, but not what the Wizards are doing. And the Wizards shooting 53.2% from the field versus 48.8% for Toronto. They also had more assists, 26 assists for Washington versus 19. The Raptors actually had more steals, 8-6, so just barely. And the Wizards 6 blocks versus just 1 for Toronto. So the Wizards won in every statistical category except for steals. They had a few turnover issues there, of course, early on. But once they got going, especially in the second and third quarters, those two quarters combined, they put up 71 points combined in the second and third quarters alone. So very impressive middle of the game right there. Is once they got up, they just, couldn't be stopped, as Toronto found out, as they could not erase that deficit in the fourth quarter as much as they tried. So the Wizards go up 2-0 on the road as they're heading back to Washington for Game 3. And the final score in Game 2, Wizards 117, Raptors 106.